It had been years since my mother passed away, and ever since, the space she left behind had felt like an empty room we never fully knew how to fill. My father remarried soon after, and Sarah, my stepmom, tried to step in, but I never allowed myself to accept her. To me, she could never replace my mother, and I resented her for trying. Dinner in her house had always been awkward, but tonight was different. My father, as usual, sat at the head of the table, making small talk, trying to keep the peace, but the atmosphere was heavy. Sarah, who usually stayed quiet, was shifting in her seat, unsure of how to handle the tension between my father and me. Then the inevitable happened. My father looked at me with that same cold, judging gaze and said, "You're still not doing anything with your life. Look at Emily. She's excelling, and you, what are you doing?" I could feel the heat rise in my chest, the familiar sting of being compared to my perfect stepsister, Emily. I glanced at Sarah for a moment, expecting her to step in, but she remained silent. Emily sat there, picking at her food, probably trying to disappear into her seat. I had been quiet for too long, letting the hurtful words slide off me. But tonight, something inside me snapped. I took a deep breath and, without thinking, looked straight at my father and said, "Maybe she should start paying your bills then." The room went dead silent. My father's fork stopped midair. Emily froze, and Sarah looked at me, shocked, her face pale. I had done it. I had finally said what I had been holding back for so long. For the first time in years, I spoke my truth, and the weight of it felt like freedom. It wasn't a perfect moment, but it was mine. I wasn't going to sit in silence anymore, not while my worth was being measured against someone else's. Everyone sat still, the air thick with silence. But for the first time in ages, I felt like I had reclaimed control. If you're feeling the power of this moment, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what happens next. The days after that dinner were strange. The silence between my father and me was louder than ever. He didn't confront me about what I said, but I could feel the tension in the house. Sarah, though usually the peacemaker, kept to herself more. Emily, on the other hand, barely spoke to me, but I could sense the change in her too. It was like we were all walking on eggshells, unsure of how to move forward. I spent the next few days avoiding my father, not wanting to face his disappointment, and Sarah kept quiet, as if giving me space to figure things out. But that silence weighed on me. It was suffocating. Then one night, Sarah knocked on my door. I wasn't sure what to expect. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. I opened the door, unsure of what she wanted to say. She stepped inside, sitting down on the edge of my bed, her voice gentle. "I know things have been difficult since your mom passed. I know you've been carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders, and I can see that it's taking a toll on you. I know I'm not your mom, and I'm not trying to replace her. I want you to know that I'm here for you, whether you want me to be or not." Her words surprised me. I had always seen her as the outsider, the one trying to fit into a family that already felt broken. But hearing her speak like that, without judgment, made me realize she wasn't the enemy. She had been trying to be a part of our lives in the only way she knew how. I didn't know how to respond at first, but I finally spoke, my voice quieter than usual. "I don't know how to forgive you, or even if I can. I still miss my mom so much, and it hurts when I feel like I'm being pushed to move on." Sarah nodded, understanding. "You don't have to forgive me right away. You don't have to forgive anyone, but I want you to know that I'm not here to replace anyone. I'm just here to help however I can." Her words hit me harder than I expected, and for the first time, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe it was time to stop seeing her as a replacement and start seeing her as someone who could help me heal. If you're finding your own path to forgiveness or understanding, Like and subscribe for more stories that might resonate with you. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for more. Weeks passed and things began to shift in small ways. My father still hadn't fully addressed the dinner confrontation, but there was a subtle change in his behavior. He didn't criticize me as much, and when he did, it wasn't as harsh. Sarah kept being kind, offering support without overstepping. Emily, too, started to open up to me more. One evening, she came to me quietly, her eyes hesitant. She said, "I'm sorry for not speaking up before. I didn't know what to say, but I get it now. It's not fair how Mom always compares us, and I should have said something sooner." I looked at her, surprised by her honesty. "It's not your fault," I replied softly. "I know she means well, but it's been hard for me feeling like I'm never good enough." Emily nodded, her eyes filled with empathy. "You are good enough, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone." In that moment, I realized that we weren't so different after all. We were both trying to find our place in a family that wasn't quite whole, but together, maybe we could figure it out. The next day, my father came to me. His words were simple, but they were more than I had expected. He said, "I know I've been hard on you. I'm sorry for that. You've been doing your best, and I should have seen that." I didn't know what to say at first, but I finally nodded, "Thank you." Things didn't magically get perfect overnight. We weren't suddenly the perfect family, but the change was real. I had spoken up for myself, and for the first time, I felt seen. I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to be true to myself. If you've ever stood up for what you believe in or found your voice, like this video, subscribe, and share your story. Let's keep growing together.